More than 2,000 years ago, someone sealed a collection of ancient writings inside clay jars and hid them deep in desert caves. They remained untouched for centuries, until one day, a teenage shepherd threw a rock into a cave and heard the sound of breaking pottery. Today, these mysterious texts are known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. They are some of the oldest biblical manuscripts ever discovered. Hidden in caves near the Dead Sea, they contain fragments of nearly every book of the Hebrew Bible. But the scrolls are not just religious texts. They are messages from a lost world. Today, we open another book from the Forbidden Library. The year was 1947. In the desert cliffs near the Dead Sea, a Bedouin shepherd searching for a lost goat stumbled upon a cave. Inside were tall clay jars, some still sealed. Inside the jars were ancient scrolls wrapped in linen. Over the next decade, archaeologists would discover more caves in the region, 11 caves in total. Together, they contained more than 900 manuscripts, many of them over 2,000 years old. The scrolls were written in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. Some were copies of biblical books. Others described strange rules for a mysterious religious community. But what shocked historians was their age. Before this discovery, the oldest copies of many biblical texts dated to around the year 1000. The Dead Sea Scrolls were more than 1,000 years old. Suddenly, historians were looking directly into the world of ancient Judaism during the time of the Second Temple, and possibly even the time when Christianity was beginning to emerge. But the scrolls also raised disturbing questions. Who wrote them? Why were they hidden in caves? And why were so many fragments deliberately broken apart? But one detail made the mystery even stranger. Some of the scrolls did not simply copy religious texts. They described a secretive community living in the desert, a community that believed the world was about to end, and that they were preparing for an apocalyptic war between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. After the discovery, scholars from around the world began studying the scrolls. Archaeologists excavated the nearby ruins of an ancient settlement called Qumran. Many researchers believe the scrolls were written by a Jewish sect known as the Essenes, a group that lived strict communal lives in the desert. They copied sacred texts by hand, followed strict purity rules, and believed they were living in the final days before a cosmic battle that would transform the world. Modern scientific techniques later confirmed that the scrolls were genuinely ancient. Radiocarbon dating placed many of them between 250 BCE and 70 CE, exactly the period when the Qumran community existed. But not everyone agrees on who wrote the scrolls. Some scholars believe the Essenes created them. Others think the scrolls may have been hidden by priests fleeing Jerusalem during the Roman invasion. Another theory suggests the caves were used as a secret archive to preserve sacred texts during a time of war. And some researchers believe multiple communities may have contributed to the collection. Even today, historians continue to debate their true origin. But the most surprising discovery came from comparing the scrolls with modern versions of the Bible. Many of the texts were almost identical to the versions used today, despite being separated by more than 1,000 years. But some passages were different. Certain verses appeared in alternate forms, and a few texts had been completely forgotten by later traditions, meaning the scrolls revealed that ancient religious texts were not always as fixed as many people believed. The caves near the Dead Sea still hold unanswered secrets. Fragments of scrolls continue to be studied, and new pieces are still being discovered. But the biggest mystery remains. Why did someone hide these writings in the desert over 2,000 years ago? And what else might still be waiting inside the caves, untouched by history?